Aloha, I'm Soraya. I'm one of the top real estate agents right here at Kailua-Kona, and I specialize in helping people like you relocate to the Big Island, but also sellers get top dollar for their homes. And I also specialize in luxury properties and investment properties. And today we're going to talk about a subject that I think is pretty cool and I get asked all the time as well, which is why is Kona so special? Why is Kona so expensive? And what makes Kona a great place to live? So let's get right into it. The first thing I get asked every time is what are the top attractions and the top things that you can do right here in Kailua-Kona, because it is a small town, and so a lot of people don't understand the appeal of Kailua-Kona versus another place like Oahu or Maui or Kauai. Now I think Kauai is much smaller than we are, so there's way less to do, in my opinion, than on the Big Island. But let's go through why you would live in Kona and what makes it special. The top attractions are what you would expect, right? It is beautiful ocean, beautiful beaches. It has that clear water vibe where when you go in there, it just feels like paradise. In addition, you can easily do things associated with the water like fishing, snorkeling, diving, things like that. And it's really easy because the water is so clear that you can just snorkel and fish that way, or you can do the Hawaiian slang where you go free diving and catch some fish that way because it's so easy. You can clearly see in the ocean. It's also beautiful. The water is cool. The weather is so nice all year long. We do have some rain in November, December, October type of time, but we really don't have that much rain. So that's why it's such a nice and very attractive place to live in, because it's nice all the time. And so you can kind of expect a certain lifestyle throughout the year. The other thing that's really nice about Kona is that the downtown is actually very vibrant. We do have a lot of local stores, local restaurants, and you can go have breakfast after you've gone snorkeling or swimming in the bay, and you're overlooking the ocean just like I am right now in this office. And it's just a very serene and very nice place to be all the time. Now, one of my favorite places to go for sunsets, if you're visiting Kona or you're looking for a home and thinking like will the lifestyle be like, I recommend that you go to Kai, which is one of the restaurants right on Ali'i Drive, right downtown. And what they do is they light tiki torches. And so you have this beautiful view right on the ocean, and there's a beautiful sunset. During winter, you can see whales, you can see dolphins. In the morning, you can see people swimming. So it is a very, very nice place. And so that's why people are attracted to living in Kona. The other thing that I love as well about Kailua-Kona is that we do have the Ironman World Championship every single year. Now they did start to split it between male contestants and female contestants every year, but every year the town is buzzing with all of the athletes, their families, the volunteers, the sponsors, and everyone in town is typically some type of volunteer for the event at some point during the year. So it is a really, really great time. So that's one of the main attractions for Kailua-Kona as well. If you are a triathlete, you can do pretty much all of your training all year long outdoors here. Another thing that is really cool about Kailua-Kona is that we do have coffee. We're one of the only states in the United States that actually grows coffee. And so that's really, really special. They're usually grown on the slopes of Hualalai or Mauna Loa, which is right in Kona. And it's a very rich volcanic soil because, of course, the Big Island and every island in Hawaii is made up of volcanoes. And it's known for its smooth, bold, balanced flavor. And it's all made from typically small-scale, artisanal type farms. And so it's really special because they have different ways of treating the coffee, drying the coffee, and roasting the coffee as well. And you can go through when you're here and have a full experience where you pick the coffee, you dry it out, and then you roast it. We did one of those stores and it's really, really fun. You get to keep it at home, and coffee grows like a weed right here in Kailua-Kona. So I have a lot of clients who grow 1 or 2 trees and they collect the cherries, and you can actually just roast them. You can roast the cherries in a pan right at home and then give them to friends or use it for your own usage. But it's really, really cool that you can do that right here in the US. So I'm a big fan of Kailua-Kona coffee, and we have a Kona Coffee Festival every year that's in November. And I attend a lot of the events, and I love the cupping competition, which is where they put the coffee over steamed water. They smell it, they taste it, and they try to figure out which coffee is the best one for the year. I think that's a really, really cool event. They also have a latte art competition where you have latte art artists from all over the world who come to try and do a competition. It's mind-blowing the type of stuff that they're able to do. I mean, I can make a couple leaves and a heart, that's pretty much it. But I think it's really cool to see them do very, very intricate designs. Another question I get asked also is, what makes Kona's beaches and coastline unique versus another place like Mexico or Florida or California? I think one of the things that's really cool about the Big Island is that we have a huge variety in the type of sands that you can get here. We have white sand, of course, which is really pretty, really soft white sand. It won't be like Florida. I think Florida has very, very soft sand. Ours isn't quite like that, but it's gonna get there eventually. Hapuna has very fine sand. We also have black sand beaches, which is the newer beaches because it is a very new island. We also have green sand beaches, and that's really, really cool. So you go and the whole beach has a green hue to it. And so it's very varied. I think the type of environment and the type of beaches that you can get right here on the Big Island are way more varied than they would be in Florida or in California. In California, in my experience, you can have beautiful cliffs, and then you have staircases that go down to the side, or they're pretty flat and they have big equipment that will come and swift through the beach every day and make it very nice and smooth. Our beaches aren't quite like that. They're more jungly, they're more rough, they're more rustic. We do have some beaches that have more accommodations for tourists. So you have a parking lot, you have the public showers, public bathrooms, all of that stuff. We have lifeguards, but we also have a lot of beaches that you have to go through really rough terrain for about a mile to get to. And once you get there, there's no one else. And then that is the type of vibe that I'm looking for. So when I was thinking about living between California, Florida, or Hawaii, I really, really like that aspect of the Big Island of feeling like the beach is my own. So I really, really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed the fact that we can almost find like our own little private beach, and it's our little secret. We just tell our friends and family and things like that. So it's kind of cool, but it depends on your own preference. The other thing that I really liked as far as coastline and beaches is that my husband loves to fish. And one of the things about living in Florida or California is that you do have to go quite a ways out, like an hour at least, maybe 2 to 3, depending on where you're living, to be able to fish in the optimal area. But here you can fish almost right at the coastline. So within 20 minutes, you're right at sometimes not even that. You're right in the right depth where you can go fishing and do all that stuff. So it makes the outings way shorter and more enjoyable, in my opinion. And the other thing is the weather is so nice all year long. We don't have monsoon rains like you get with flash flooding and things like that you would get in Florida. We also don't get the winters that you would get in California. So I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it, and the idea that we can go to the beach any day, pretty much any time of the year. And we like paddleboarding. We have paddleboards, and typically the ocean is pretty smooth, and so we're able to go there and paddle pretty often. Another thing that is sometimes a pro or a con, depending on who you are, is the Kona culture and history that comes with it. We do get asked a lot from people who are relocating because there is almost a stigma that if you move to a Hawaii island and you're not from Hawaii and you're from the mainland and you're relocating, that maybe it'll be a very difficult transition to incorporate into the local culture, into making friends and things like that locally. One thing that I really encourage you to do is go through my channel. I do have a video where I talk about the amount of people that come through from the mainland to Hawaii and which states they're relocating from. And you'll be pleasantly surprised, in my opinion, to see that so many people are coming from California, Washington, Nevada, Texas. There's a lot of people from Texas, and there's other states that I'm forgetting right now, but these are the big hits. There's a lot of people relocating from those locations. So you have actually a really high probability to find people who come from the state where you're coming from and making circles that way. But as far as the local population, I don't think that they're mean. So I want you to just forget that stigma. I think they're very welcoming as long as, you know, you're respectful of their culture, their history. I am involved and I will go to cultural events and get educated that way. So I know what I'm talking about, but also I know how to be respectful as far as local culture and history. So I think that's something that is not a worry. You should not worry about that. There are a lot of historic sites and historic societies that you can join if you are interested in doing that. And so you can go, I think the Hulihe'e Palace is one of those where they have cultural events all the time to educate on the history of Kona, the history of Hawaii in general. They also have a lot of sacred and historic places throughout the Big Island, and so that's kind of a cool thing in my opinion, because it does keep the island raw in that way versus other islands where I feel like it's very highly developed, and it's not like that right here on the Big Island. So one of the other questions that I get asked is, why is Kona a top destination for visitors and residents alike? I think we've already covered it. I mean, it is sunny year long, so if you have any type of interest in being outside, this is a great place to live because it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's sunny all the time. If you want to live in a cooler area, you can live on a higher elevation or in a place like Waimea or whatnot. The Big Island has so many microclimates that if you're looking for something very specific as far as your lifestyle, you will be able to find it here. It also has, I agree, it does have a really nice mix of modern yet more natural beauty, and I really like that. So you are able to have access to most of the modern amenities that you're looking for. We have shopping centers, we have grocery stores, we have a lot of restaurants and things like that. But it also is very rural and very natural in the way that it's really green around us all the time, and it is slow to develop. So I really enjoyed that part of it. And I've said it many times, but to me, the Big Island is a playground. I look at it as a great place where if you want to adventure or be outdoors, any type of hobby that you like, we typically have it. If you enjoy more artistic things, we have pottery, painters here. Photography is huge, especially with the lava and the volcano and being able to take pictures of that, but also with all the astronomers and being able to look at the stars and take pictures of that as well. If you are more into water sports, we have, of course, tons of abilities to do that. And if you're somebody who likes hiking, there's tons of hiking spots as well. So it just depends on what you're looking for. One of the things that I highly recommend my clients is that before they move to the Big Island, we should have a buyer's consultation where we kind of go over your ideal lifestyle, right? Like, what are you looking for on a daily basis? What are you looking to live So are you looking to live somewhere warmer? Are you looking to be more remote and secluded? Are you looking to be like right downtown with all the people? And we kind of go through like the whole idea of your needs. Like, do you need to be close to a hospital? Do you need to be close to a specific doctor? Do you play tennis a lot? You know, things like that. So we really go in high detail and try to narrow down what area is best for you, because the Big Island is huge. It takes probably 8 hours to drive around, probably more than that, 8 to 10 hours to drive around the entire island. And so when my clients first start looking, they kind of look all over the place. And the span of driving is probably around 3 hours if you were to go from one house that they like to the other, but their lifestyles are completely different. And so a lot of times they don't realize that. They just look at the price of a home and think, I'm gonna live there because it's cheap. But then they get there and it's not at all what they wanted. So it's one of those things where we will sit down, talk through the ideal home that you're looking for, the ideal lifestyle, and then I will suggest certain areas or certain neighborhoods that might fit what you're looking for as far as lifestyle, and then we'll dig deep into those types of neighborhoods to find the right home for you. So I hope this video was helpful. Please check out my channel and subscribe if you have any more questions and you want to learn about the Big Island. Check out the channel. We have tons of resources for you, and I'll see you on the next one. Aloha.